/ and asterisk symbol. What it indicates? So this indicates commands or documentation section. By making use of this header files or by making use of this preprocessor directory, the linker section will going to link all the piece of code into a bundle of code. So when you want to take the input and output in your program, then it is mandatory to have this iostream.h header file. When it comes to the main function, you have to understand it should not be terminated by semicolon. Hello everyone, welcome to the last session on chapter 7, that is Introduction to C++. I am Rohini, lecturer, Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram Pre-University College, Mysuru. So in our previous session, we learned about the precedence of an operator, that is also known as what? How the operators are prioritized and what will be the hierarchy of that operator. So which operator has more priority and which operator has least priority. That is regarding the precedence of an operator, how it looks like in the table. So that means which has more priority and which operators has least priority. So this precedence of an operator is mainly important when we are evaluating the expression. That is regarding the precedence or a hierarchy of an operator. Next, we had a discussion regarding type conversion. That means the converting of one data type to another data types. That is regarding typecasting or type conversion. Then which are the two methods that I have discussed? That is implicit conversion and explicit conversion. If the compiler is making data type as a compatible data type, then that is implicit. Explicit conversion will going to happen with the help of programmer. The one who is working with the computer, by intentionally they are going to change from one data type to another data type. That is nothing but what? Explicit conversion. So that is important, implicit and explicit conversion. And also I have discussed some of the library function which has a inbuilt function. So we can just call that functions or we can include that in our program in order to minimize the program development time. So in today's session, we are going to learn about the structure of a C++ program, how the program should look like, what are the standards that we are supposed to follow, everything that we are going to learn. So, structure of C++ is nothing but what? How the C++ program should look like. So, from here you are going to learn about the programming, how we are supposed to write a program, what are the things that we are supposed to include, everything that we'll get to know about the structure of C++ program. So, let me get into that today's session. If you look into this here, first what we are going to do? So, we are going to write a program. So we are going to write a program and then we are going to compile. So compile in the sense what? Already I have discussed about the problem solving methodologies, stages. So we have to analyze and we have to give input to the computer system. Then we have to code. Code in the sense what? We are going to write a program to the computer. So computer has to understand, that needs to be converted into machine understandable form. Then once the compilation is done, that means it will going to check whether computer or a program has any errors or not. So if it is error free, if there is no bug, then it will allow us to run the program. So when we are going to run that program, so that means it will going to give us the output screen. So whatever the program that we have written, for that program we are supposed to give the input. Based on that calculation, it will going to give us an output. So this is what exactly will going to happen when we writing a program, when we compiling, when we running a program. So that is what here, that means we are supposed to write the source code, then the pre-process will going to happen, then it will going to compile, then it will going to link all the code. So when it loads and it will going to execute. So this is how the program will going to work in the background. So now we'll see a general structure of C++ program. So here I have grouped it into two parts. That is, here I have a syntax and here we have a example program which will going to reflect the syntax. So already we know that what is syntax. There will be some standards when we are writing a program that we are supposed to follow. So this first line indicates was general structure. If you look into deeply, you are going to get to know that here we have a slash and asterisk symbol, that is forward slash and asterisk symbol. What it indicates? So this indicates comments or documentation section. So what will be the first line of your C++ program? That is comments or a documentation section. So that is mainly deal with what? Whether this program is meant for what. So for what purpose we are writing this program. So in comment section or a document section, we are going to give the name for a program, that is as a title card for your movie. Okay, so that is what comments or a documentation section. So what is the next line? Here we have a linker section. So what we have linker section, that is preprocessor directives. That is preprocessor directives. So what are the header files that we require? So how we are going to include that header file? Everything that comes under this preprocessor directives. Next we have a main program. As the name indicates, main program in the sense what? It is a main in the program. So where the actual execution of C++ program will going to take place in this part or in this section, that is main program or a main function. And here opening and closing of flower braces indicates that it is a block of code. It will going to include all the statements within that block of code. Okay, so I will going to explain each section deeply. You now just have a look regarding this general structure. So what are the things or what are the sections it include? First, we are supposed to take the comments or a documentation section. After that, we have a linker section. So what will going to happen in a linker section and what is this definition section? Everything that I am going to discuss. So when it comes to the definition section, we are going to define. For example, define pi 3.14. That means what? Overall your program, wherever you are going to use that pi as a variable name, the value of that pi will going to be 3.14 always. So that is regarding definition section. And we have a global declaration section. Next, we have a main function. So function is nothing but what? That is a set of lines of code or set of instruction that will going to perform a particular task. That is nothing but function. Here we have a main function. So this main function comprises of what? Opening of flower braces and closing of a flower braces. So between that we are going to write some of the declaration section and executable statement section. So now let me explain each of the stages individually. So what is the first section that we have? That is comments or a documentation section. So why this comments is important? For you, if you are writing a program, then you will get to know which program I am writing or for what purpose we are writing that program. But what if unknown person come and execute that program? So when we are including this command, that will going to help the person one who is working with. So they will get to know which program it is, for what purpose they are writing this code. Everything we are going to mention it in the comment section. So that comments can be what? Either single line command or a multi-line command. For example, if write a program, WAP is in nothing but write a program to find area of a circle. I have written this command in a single line. At the time, what I am going to do? I am just include this double forward slash. That indicates the single line command. That indicates single line command. But what if I want to have more than one line of command? So then at the time we are supposed to use forward slash asterisk symbol, and we have to write the code. That means we are supposed to write the comments, then that must end with again asterisk symbol and forward slash. So this is multi-line command. This is multiple line command. This is single line command. When you want to write a single line of command for your program, then you are supposed to take forward slash. That is twice. You are supposed to take 2 forward slash that indicates the single line command. But when you want to have more than one line of commands, then at that time you are supposed to take forward slash asterisk symbol and you are going to write the commands, or you are going to make the documentation section, and that must end with star and forward slash. So this is what the usage of command section. There we are going to mention what is this program is about. So what are the variables we are using, or we are using any of the concept, everything that we are going to write in the command section. And understand one thing, command section won't get executed. Compiler just will going to ignore that commands. But for our reference, we are going to use the command section in our program. Okay. For example, if you want to have a command line for the each of a statement, that means if my program consists of thousands of lines, at the time in any of the line, if I want any of the reference, for what purpose I am taking this variable, for what purpose I am doing this line of code, at that time you can include the command. If it is single line, go with 2 forward slash. If it is a multiple line command, then go with forward slash and asterisk symbol, and that must be followed by set of lines of statements or a command, then that must be what ends with star and forward slash. So this is regarding command section. That is, commands are the pieces of code that compiler will going to ignore when it going to compile. So there are 2 types, that is single line command and multi-line command. If it is a single line, that is double forward slash. If it is a multi-line, then forward slash star, and you are going to write the command, then that must end with star forward slash. So this is the first session, that is first section of a structure of C++ program. So next what we have, that is preprocessor directives, that is also called as what? Linker section. So that is also called as linker section. So we know we are going to give input and it will going to process and it will going to give the output. So if you consider everything, input, process and output, everything will be considered as what? Different sections or different piece of code. By making use of this header files or by making use of this preprocessor directory, the linker section will going to link all the piece of code into a bundle of code, so that it will going to link and that will going to load into the compiler. Then it will going to compile and it will going to run the program. So that is what the usage of this linker section or a preprocessor directives. So here what we are going to do, we are going to include the header files. We are going to include the header files. We see here the linker section begins with a hash symbol. How we are supposed to write the linker section? It must starts with pound symbol or hash symbol and include. So what I am doing? I am including the header files. Include. And understand one thing, all the keywords must be in the lowercase. You are not supposed to use any of the capital letter here. You need to take all the keywords in the lowercase. So that is the thing you have to understand. So here hash include is a preprocessor directives. So hash is a symbol or a pound symbol that will going to include. So what it will going to include? It will going to include the header files. It will going to include header files. We are supposed to take the header file that must be enclosed between the angular brackets. That must be enclosed between the angular brackets, and we have to take the file extension. We have to take file extension, that is .h. .h indicates the header file. We are including the header file for the linker section, that is iostream.h. Very important line. Throughout your programming, you are going to include 2 header file mandatory. So that is hash include iostream.h and hash include conio.h. conio.h. So what is this iostream.h? So we all know that in order to do the programming, we are go with input and output. Then where it will going to store, where all the programming code will going to store that for input and output, that is in the header file called iostream.h. So here I indicates the input and O indicates the output. So stream is nothing but collection of characters, that is collection of input and output stream. So that is stream. So IO stream, stream .h. So that .h indicates that is an header file. So when you want to take the input and output in your program, then it is mandatory to have this iostream.h header file. So once we are done with processing, what we are supposed to do? We have to display that on a screen, right? We have to display the output on the screen. Then how it will going to display? Who will going to direct in order to display the output? That is by making use of this conio.h header file. So if I segregate the word, that is con in the sense what? Console. Console is nothing but what? Output screen. So output screen is nothing but console. Console IO. IO in the sense input and output. And .h is the header file extension. So when you are writing a program, it is very mandatory to have these two header files in your program. That is regarding C++. Ash include iostream.h and ash include conio.h, and based on our requirement, we are going to have the header files. For example, if I am performing any of the mathematical related operation, at the time I am going to include an header file called math.h. So there will be several functions which will going to be enclosed in this header file. By making use of this header file, I can use all the functions which comes under particular type of header file. For example, here I have a iostream.h. So when I want to have the input and output in my program, at that time I have to include this iostream.h header file. But when I want to display the result on the console or a output screen, at that time I have to take this conio.h, that is conio.h. So these two lines are very important. So these two are the first lines of your code. Okay, comment sections are not so mandatory. You can include that comment section in your program or you can leave. So that is not so mandatory. After that, we are going to do what? That is linker section. So in linker section, it will start with hash symbol and we are going to include the preprocessor directives. So we are going to include preprocessor directive that must be enclosed between angular bracket, that is less than symbol. Then you are going to specify the name of a header file, then greater than symbol. So it is a signal for a preprocessor which runs the compiler. So once I am done with the programming, it has to compile. So when I am using this linker section or when I am using this preprocessor, it will going to make that compiler active. So it will going to make the compiler active. That is, it is a signal for the compiler. Get ready. We are including the program. That means we are linking all the code together. Now you have to compile. So this is regarding this preprocessor directives. So the statement will going to direct the compiler to include the header files, from the C++ standard library. So in my previous session, I had a discussion regarding this standard library, that is built-in library functions are there. We are supposed to include that header files. So when I am including that header file, whatever the functions comes under that header file, that we can use in our program. For example, if I want to perform any of the mathematical function. So in my previous session, I have shown you that character function is there, string functions are there, and mathematical functions are there. So for that, we are going to include the header file. For example, for mathematical function, we are going to include the header file called my.h. So if I want to have any of the character function in my program, then we are going to use the ctype.h. And if I want to have any of the string function, then I am going to include string.h. So these are the header files, some of the examples for header file. So preprocessor directory will going to make the compiler active in order to include all the header file which is necessary in order to run our program. So here, what is preprocessor directory? It has to start with hash include. So by default, you can write it as iostream.h. Why? Because we are going to take the input and output in our program. It has to be enclosed between the angular bracket. And in order to display that, we require conio.h, so that these two header files are mandatory in our program. So now let me get into the next one, that is definition. So what is this definition? Now I have written the command section and I have taken the header file. Now if I want to define any of the variables in my program, then we are going to have the definition section. That is, in this section we can define the constant, we can define the expression, we can define structure, functions, arrays, classes, anything. So that means what? How we are going to write the definition part? That is as define pi 3.14. So what it mean? As define. So I'm defining this pi variable as 3.14. Wherever I'm going to use this pi keyword or wherever I'm going to use this pi variable in my program, for that one the value will be 3.14 always. So if I define like this, as define A10, don't use is equal to, as define A10. So what it mean? Wherever I am going to use A as a variable in my program, throughout the program, the value of that A will going to be 10 itself. That is what the definition. So there I am going to define. So after the linker section, this definition will going to get executed. That is, definition section is executed by the compiler and this section is optional. If you want to define, then only we can go with this definition section. Okay, so linker section is mandatory and comment sections are for that is not so mandatory, that can be optional. You can include the comments in your program or you can leave that one. Okay, when it comes to the definition section, compile after the preprocessor directives, and this is also optional. If you want to define any of the value for the variable, then you will go with definition section or else you can leave. So next we have global declaration. So this is also optional. So you can include the global declaration or you can leave the global declaration. So before all the main function. So next we have a main function. Before that we can define the global values. We can declare the global values. So as the name indicates, global in the sense what? When I am going to declare any of the variables with a global declaration, so throughout my program I can use that. Throughout my program I can use that. If I am giving a lecture to particular class, then who will get the beneficial? Only that particular class student. But when we come online or when we are reaching you out to the YouTube, so this will be global. This will be global. I can reach any number of people, those who are watching the videos. So that is what the meant of global and local. So when I am declaring any of the variable in the global section, throughout my program I can use anywhere in the program. But when the declaration of that variable is local, at that time for the particular block of code, it will be get restricted. So that is regarding global declaration and local declaration. So where we are supposed to take this global declaration, that is after the definition or that is after the linking section. It has to take place before the main function. It has to take place before the main function or any of the function. Then only it will going to be considered as what? Global declaration. So till now what we have learned. So let me consider WAP, write a program to find area of a circle. To find area of a circle. So this is my what? Command. That is single line command. Then I am going to include the header file called as include iostream.h and as include conio.h. So after this conio.h, I am just going to skip the definition section. Next we have what? Global declaration. So global declaration in the sense what? We are going to declare any of the variable which is before the main function, then it will be considered as what? Global declaration. So throughout my program, I can use this variable. So let me consider int r. So that is R is a variable name of the data type integer. So then give the semicolon. That semicolon indicates the termination of a particular line. So where I can use this R in my program? in any of the part of my program, I can use this R because it has a global access. This is not only restricted to particular block of code. So it will be available throughout the program. So wherever I require this R variable, I can use it. So next we have very important, that is main function. As the name indicates what? It is a main function in our program. Without main function, the computer or a C++ program will not going to be executed. So very mandatory line, that is main function. So if I am specifying like this is nothing but what? Function. This indicates the function. We are supposed to give the name for this function. So here this is name of a function, that is main function. When it comes to the main function, you have to understand it should not be terminated by semicolon. It should not be terminated by semicolon. If you use this semicolon, then your program won't get executed. Why? Because you are just terminating that function there itself. So that you are not supposed to take the semicolon when it comes to the main function. And it will be followed by opening and closing of the flower braces. So where we are going to write a line of code for the program. So main function is very important. You can take either void main or int main. So here main is a keyword and void is also keyword. Then if it is a keyword, then you are supposed to write it in the lowercase letter and it must be followed by two parentheses, that is opening and closing of the parenthesis. So that indicates the main program and where the actual execution of a program gets started, from this line, from this void main line or a main function line. So in every C++ program, it is mandatory to have only one main function. You are not supposed to take more than one main function. It has to be lowercase and it should not be terminated by semicolon. So these are the points that you have to remember when it comes to the main function. So the execution of a C++ program will going to be starts with a main function. So no C++ program will going to be executed without main function, and it has to be lowercase and should not be terminated by semicolon. So very important. And it is followed by what? It is followed by braces, that is opening of flower braces and closing of the flower braces. So whatever the statement that we are going to write within this braces, then it will going to include any of the function or any of the statement. Whatever we want to do for the programming, we can write within the flower braces. So this indicates opening of a main function, and this indicates a closing of main function. So opening, whatever the code that we are going to write between the opening and closing of a pair of braces, then that will be considered as what? Statement. So that statement will going to be help us to write a program. So that is regarding braces. It must be enclosed between the pair of flower braces. Next we have a declaration. So now we are done with comments, and I have taken the header files which is required, and I have taken definition section and global variable declaration. Then we have a main function where the actual execution of the program gets started. So if we are writing a program, then we have to analyze. So what is this program is about? What are the inputs that we are supposed to give? Everything that we have supposed to consider. So when it comes to the declaration, within this flower braces, within the opening and closing of flower braces, we are going to declare the variables. We are going to write any of the statement, everything that comes under between that flower braces. So when it comes to the declaration, here where we are going to declare all the variables, or if you are taking any of the arrays concept or functions, everything will going to be declared with a data type. For example, int a. Int a. So that means what? A is a variable name of the data type integer. That means this a will going to hold the integer values. So I can take it as, I can give the value as 10, 20, 30, but I cannot give it as 3.5. Why? Because this is a floating point value, but I am representing the data type of this variable as the integer. But if it is a float of B or float of A, at that time I can take this 3.5. That is what this A will going to hold the value of the data type float, that is floating point values. So in my previous session, I have discussed about the constant. There we have an integer constant, floating point constant, everything we got to know that. So when the numbers contains the fractional part, then we are supposed to take the data type of float. When the program or when the variable contains the value of integer or a whole number, at the time we have to go with int data types. So what are the variables we require? So when it comes to the movie, what we have there, we are going to declare. That means who are all the actors, who is the producer, who is the director, everything they are going to mention. That is nothing but what? Declaration. So where the declaration will going to happen, it can be either global declaration or a local declaration. So if it is a global declaration, so throughout the program I can use that variable. But when I am taking the variable as a local declaration, then it will be limited only to that particular block of code. So as I discussed as my previous example, if I am giving a lecturer to particular class, then that lecturing class will going to be restricted only to that particular classroom. But when we are dealing with an online platform, that is global declaration. So anyone can access those who are in the online. So that is what the difference between global declaration and local declaration. So this will going to help the compiler to allocate the memory space inside the computer memory. So when we are going to declare any of the variables, at the time compiler will going to give some memory space. First we are going to declare, then the memory space will going to be allocated based on the data type that we are taking. For example, if I am declaring int a, so at that time what will going to happen, this a will going to be stored in the computer memory and the compiler will going to give the value or space, memory space for this a variable of 2 bytes or a 4 bytes. That will be based on the type of processor. So if I am using float b, if I am declaring float b, at the time the size of this float is 4 bytes. The size of this float is 4 bytes. So that 4 bytes of memory will going to be given to this variable called b. So this is how the declaration will going to help to hold the memory address in the computer memory. So when the variables are in the computer memory, then only we can fetch that variable, then only we can perform the operation. That is what the usage of this declaration. So next we have a statements. As the name indicates, program is nothing but what? Set of statements. So that will going to perform particular task. So then what is statement? So already we know that what is program. So program is nothing but set of statement, that is set of instruction that will going to help the computer to perform a particular task. That is nothing but program. Then how we are going to write the statement? What are the statements that we have? So by making use of the statement, we can write either input statement, we can take the output statement. The statement can be any expressions or any calculation part. So that can be anything, but that has to be terminated with the help of semicolon. Then that indicates the end of that particular statement. So when it comes to the C++, we are going to take the input by making use of cin. So we are going to take the input by making use of cin and we are going to display the output by making use of cout statement. So this is a cout statement. So within cout statement, within double quotes, we have to write any of the data and it has to terminate it by semicolon. And if you are taking an input, then it will be used like this. I am taking 3 input A, B and C. So when the compiler comes here, it will going to wait for the value for the A, B and C. Then how we are going to terminate the statement? That is with the help of this semicolon. That semicolon indicates that this is the termination of this particular line of statement. So that is what about the statement. For example, I can take any of the expression. I can take any of the expression so that C is equal to A plus B. So what it indicates, this is one of the example for statement. You can take what expression, any of the input functions, output functions or any conditional statement. We can also include operators, everything that we can write in the statement block. So C is equal to A plus B. That indicates what? I am taking the value of A and B and I am going to use the operator plus it will going to sum the value of A and B, that will going to be stored or copied to the value called C. So how I get to know this is a statement? Because it is terminated with the help of semicolon that indicates the end of a line. So this is how the structure of C++ program will going to have. So now let me get into the first slide. That is what? The general structure. So when it comes to the general structure of a C++ program, first we are going to write the command section. So that is nothing but documentation that will going to help the user to get to know about the programming, what we are doing about that particular program. Then we have a preprocessor directory that must starts with # and we are going to include the header files which is required for the particular program. Then it include definition section and global declaration. Those two are the optionals, so you can skip those two stages or those two sections. If you want to have that in your program, then you can include. Next we have a main function. So where the actual execution of a program get started. Without this main function, no C++ program will going to run. And that is followed by opening and closing of a flower braces. So opening of a main function indicates that scope of that function gets started when we open the flower brace. So after that we can declare the variables. So when we are going to declare the variables after the main function, then it will going to have the local variables. So when we are declaring the variables before the main function, then that is global declaration. And we can write any of the executable statement. This statement will going to include input and output statement or any of the expressions or any of the calculation part. And once we are done with all these one, we have to end or we have to close the main function. At that time, whatever the statement or variables is there, everything will going to be combined in a complete pack of code. So this will be helpful for the compiler to compile the complete source code. So here we have some of the example program. So what does this first line indicates? That is a command. So when we are using a multiple line command, at that time the statement will be more than one line. So this is a simple program to display a message. So this is first section, that is commands or documentation section. So what I have next, that is preprocessor directive that starts from # and include iostream.h. So when we are going to take input and output statement in our program, then we have to include this iostream.h header file. After that, main function, void main. So void is the data type and main is the name of a function. This parenthesis indicates that is this a function. This will going to perform a particular task. So without main function, no program will going to execute, and we are not supposed to take semicolon after the main function. That will going to terminate there itself. So that don't use semicolon after this main function. And this is a keyword and it has to be in the lower case. Then opening and closing of flower braces. So within that I am taking the statement. So which kind of statement? Whether it is input or output, it is output. When we are using the output, whatever the code of line, that is whatever the characters or string that you are going to write as a statement, that will going to be displayed on a output screen. So that cout, so less than symbol within double quotes you are supposed to write. So whatever you are going to write between the double quotes, that will going to be displayed on the output screen. So in this example, this is the first C++ program. So what I am going to display, that is, this is the first C++ program. Once I am done with statement, I have to close that by double quotes and it has to end with semicolon. That indicates the termination, and this closing of flower braces indicates the closing of the main function. So then we are going to compile the program. If it is error free, then it will going to run. Then what will be the output for this program? That is, this is the first C++ program. So this will be the output. This will be the output that will going to display it on the output screen. So now we got to know about the general structure of C++ program. So now let me explain one of the program to make you understand how it looks like exactly. So here I have a simple C++ program to display a message on the screen. That is what I have discussed in the previous one. So here I have not taken any of the commands. I'm just directly taking the header files or a preprocessor directives #include iostream.h and #include conio.h. Next we have a main function. This indicates the opening of a main function, and I have a CLR SCR function, that is clear screen function. So clear screen function. So why I'm going to use this clear screen function? If I want to use this clear screen and get ch function, then we are supposed to use the conio.h header file. When we are using the cout statement, then we are supposed to include this iostream.h header file. So why? Because clear screen and get ch are related to output. So clear screen in the sense, if any one of the person or a programmer, one who used your system, and if they have displayed any of the output in that particular system, I just want to erase all the output statement in my output screen. So if I am compiling and if I am running a new program of mine, at that time the output screen must be clear. So whatever we have in the output screen, that has to be displayed in a individual output screen. So that we are going to use this clear screen, and get ch is nothing but what? By making use of this one, we are going to get the output screen. And what is the cout statement indicates? That is welcome to computer science class. So if I compile this program, it will going to run without any errors, and it will going to display an output like welcome to computer science class. Why? Because it is taken in the cout statement. Whatever the things that we are going to write within the cout statement, that will be displayed as it is. So this one, when it comes to this program, welcome to computer science class will be the output. So this is about the general structure along with an example for the C++ programming. So this is all about today's session, and we also end up with chapter 7, that is introduction to C++. Hope you all understood with this chapter. Let me meet you in the new session with a new chapter. Until that, what you are supposed to do? You have to keep learning and you have to keep growing. Thank you very much.